What's good, people? Hope everyone is doing just a little bit better than I am today. What's good, people? Pouring down rain pretty good right now. Everyone is doing just a little bit better than I am. It wouldn't be so bad that it's pouring down rain right now, with the exception of the fact that it's really pouring down hard. Not only is it really pouring down hard, but it's been raining for like 15, 16, something like that days straight. A lot of places here have been flooding out. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. It's sad because it's like nobody just genuinely gives a shit. They don't think in terms of, well, what is this going to do to commodity prices? What's this going to do to the food costs? I don't know. Pulled another all-nighter, burning the candle at both ends, so to speak. My chickens aren't happy. And that's what led to my angst. When you start pissing my chickens off, when you piss my plants off, that's when you piss me off. I tried to use a portable little device and do a little bit of a live stream. I've not checked. I don't even know if it came out. Frankly, I just don't give a damn if it did or didn't. It's getting old. I'm getting old. There's so many other things that we should be contending with and dealing with in the world. Having to worry about people fucking with our weather should be the least of our concerns and worryation. And yeah, maybe it's on my head. You know, maybe it this is the new normal. I don't trust people. None of them. That includes friends, and most especially family and loved ones. But I do trust nature. And while most of you sleep in your ignorant bliss, some of us don't. Some of us are keeping watch. Some of us, that's our job, that's our role, that's our function that we provide. You've got all kinds of watchers, and not all of the watchers are bad. Some of them are good. Yeah, nature communicates. And while you people are laying in your fucking little warm and toasty bed, and the worst thing you're going to worry about today is having to go from the fucking front door of your piece of shit house that you'll never own to your car and potentially get your fucking hair wet as a result of all of this rain. Some of us have to see it from a different angle, a different perspective. Now, the way this ties back into nature is my chickens were unsettled all night. I'm trying to find my lighter that I apparently lost when I jumped up and ran outside. And bear with me for just 1 minute, folks. It should be right here, laying here. Oh, there we go. Ah, it's a mess. It's a wreck. That's what happens when you don't get to sleep and you have to instead police the world and try to keep things together for people. But anyway, the chickens didn't sleep at all. Okay, now there are occasions where you will have a. In the old days, they used to say that if you had a rooster that crowed at the wrong time, that was the first one you killed and ate. On occasion, that happens. But for the most part, within reason, they're on a fixed schedule. Now, I'm hearing them now, right? They're not happy. And when they're yelling and screaming all night, they're not yelling and screaming just because they happen to be having an argument, or because they don't feel good, or because their old ladies is bitching, or because the kids ain't behaving. When your chickens are up all night, then they're not roosting. Something's going on. Now, if you're someone that cares about nature and you try to pay attention to stuff like that, the first thing that you should presume is, hey, I need to go check on the chickens because it could be a coyote, it could be a fucking possum, it could be a raccoon. Something is messing with my chickens. But in this instance, it's the rain. Now, when it's raining that extensively that the chickens ain't roosting, that does concern me. Yeah, the rain, curious cannabis connoisseur. I'm aggravated. The chickens ain't slept all night. They didn't roost at all. I was worried that that the coop was getting flooded out, and I waited until daylight to go outside. When I went outside, shit's flooding. It's still pouring down rain. They're saying that I guess if we're lucky, it might not rain Monday, but then it's going to be back raining again Tuesday. And we're on like day 15 or 16 of continuous rain. We've had more rain in the last 2 months than we typically have in a year. You know, damn lighter ain't gonna work because it got wet. And see, when you've got that amount of volume of water, if you're in a flat area, then it floods, right? Okay. I'm not on a flat area. I'm on the side of a mountain. We keep allowing. We have an issue with these types of incidents, and we all know that our environment is being manipulated, and rather than tackle the issue, we instead come up with creative ways to sidestep the issue. We come up with creative ways to tell ourselves that it's not our problem. We come up with this defeatist attitude that, well, you know, if we were to try to stand up for ourselves, we might lose our jobs, or worse yet, we might get put in jails, or worse yet, they'll just kill us. So even though it's wrong, we can't do nothing. We let the Catholic Church prey on children. We find out that most fucking Catholic priests are fucking pedophiles. We do nothing. We sit on our fucking hands. We make up excuses and let it go away. We brush it under the rug. We poison the fucking oceans. We poison the fucking air. We poison the fucking soil. We do nothing. We make up excuses. We brush it under the rug. How long do we come to a point where we're tired of it? Is there a time when we lock and load and do what the fuck needs done? Or do we just keep being pussies and just keep letting this shit happen to us? How long do we take a back seat? Is there a time when we draw a line in the sand? Does there come a time, a point, at which we say no? We are not going to tolerate being shit on anymore. No, not doing it. Or do we just keep letting this shit go on the way it does? We obviously don't, you know, from just judging by the response that people like me get, we obviously we don't even ask the hard questions. That's why someone fucking get stoned and eat a fucking Tide Pod, make a video, it'd get 1 billion views. Somebody else will make a video on an Illuminati pledge that deals with depopulation of 3/4 of society, and that same video will get banned from YouTube, or to get 20 views. And I see nature's a hell of a lot smarter than you are too, kind of curious cannabis connoisseur. Anything that you think you know or you think you can do or strategize or figure, nature is one step ahead of you. My point is that when you go trying to play creator, nature existed long before you did. Nature will be here long after you're gone. A lot of things, it never occurs to people that maybe nature is doing things to get rid of people. Maybe we are the very cancer on this planet. Maybe we are the very thing that needs eliminated. And I'm not talking about specific or select people, people in general. That's why I feel it's my obligation to try to do my best to smack the back of people's heads with the hope that maybe they'll pull their head out of their fucking ass. Action, reaction. Problem, solution. The whole Hegelian dialectic bullshit's getting boring. Something needs to occur to compel genuine applicable change on a worldwide scale. I just read an article yesterday. 2 articles with regards to this same subject. Anthropod 4. Cheers, friend. Thank you for being here. I just read an article yesterday on this very same subject. 2 articles, as a matter of fact. The first article was talking about the mile-plus wide garbage heap floating in the Caribbean. Pretty fucked up, huh? And then the next one, hold on, let me go back through this article because I want to make sure that I don't say the wrong country. I'm probably done fucking passed it up just because I'm pissy and shitty and in a bad mood. Was it China? I don't know. It's one of the countries that we ship our garbage off to. Yes, I said that right. That we, dirty, nasty, lazy, uneducated, arrogant, self-righteous, condescending, controlling, tyrants, also known as the American people, send our garbage to. And they are talking about refusing it. They're not going to take our garbage from us anymore. Oh shit. We'll have to start putting our own shit in our own backyard. It's going to get bad then, isn't it? I live in heart of Appalachia. I don't live in a tropical fucking rainforest. So, when I get more rainfall than a tropical rainforest, it is concerning. It's concerning from a myriad of different facets. Whether we have to think about, like, just my mother, I spoke to my mother about this too, because last week our gas has went up 45 cents since last week. You think that's by chance? That's by coincidence? That's by accident? You think there's all of a sudden a shortage of gas since last week? We're not talking about entering the height of tourism season. So what would make the gas go up? I was talking to some people in Mississippi, and they farm strawberries. And they were worried about the fact that their strawberry crops might be significantly compromised as a result of the excessive, abnormal amount of rainfall that they've gotten in the last 2 months. I know. It's all just conspiracy theory. Nothing to see here, folks. Nobody gives a fuck anyway, and it's just all going to be okay. Yeah. How does excessive rainfall affect commodities prices? So what happens if there's substantial rainfall in an area that typically does not get substantial rainfall? And let's say that we harvest 1/4 less the amount of corn this year than we normally do. What happens? Well, the price of feed goes up. When the price of feed goes up, poor country ass folk like me, we can't afford much feed. When we can't afford enough feed, we don't raise as much cattle. When we don't raise as much cattle, our cattle is either A, underweight, or B, there's not as much of it. Either way, it causes the price of beef to go up. And that's just one example, but there are lots of other examples that could be given with regards to this topic of conversation. UFO fact or fiction. Cheers. Good morning. Good evening. Whichever it may be the case. Hopefully you're dry wherever you are at. This is the most rain that we've ever had, ever in recorded human history in my particular area. So that whole, oh, it's perfectly normal, that conversation's kind of mute on me. You know, if a man had extracted enough ricin from enough castor beans that he had a good bunch, man, the things he could do in excessive rain with like this. That would be cruel. I would never suggest doing something like that. You hope you're not pink because you changed it to a bud. I do. I see that it is a bud. Your avatar symbol representing the name or the channel or what have you is definitely not pink. My chickens were up all night. That just sucks. If your girls are not happy, they do not produce. Hell, and even if you don't have chickens, if you don't have any birds of any kind, maybe you just buy eggs because, you know, you don't want to raise chickens. Well, you grow plants. What happens if your plants are not happy? What happens if your rose bush is not happy? What happens if your cannabis plant is not happy? It doesn't matter if me or you or any of the other people worldwide are happy. We make up what percentage of the total percentage of life in this world? Humans make up what percentage of the total life on Earth? My point is we're the minority. But yet, we act as though we're somehow special. We're somehow entitled to shit in our own fucking yard and expect everybody else to smell it. Well, they've had giant weather machines for a long time. That is not new. There is nothing new about that. Nothing new at all. The Jewish peoples have went above and beyond the call of duty for thousands of years to eliminate a good percentage of the populace. That is not new. There's nothing conspiracy about that. Your television set, the whole entire reason that the cathode ray tube was invented was to control the mind of the idiot sheep. By idiot sheep, I'm referring to the human species. Check into that. Go ahead, prove me wrong. I said the cathode ray tube was invented to be used for the purpose of mind control. No, that was not its only application. That was just its predominant, primary application. And the truth has always been available to everyone. Coast Life 252, cheers friend, good morning. Thank you for being here. I'm just ranting and raving about a whole lot of nothing. As long as people get to punch their time clock and send money to Israel, as long as Trump is able to build a wall to keep the Americans from contaminating the rest of the planet, I guess everything's going to be okay. And I'm just ranting about a whole lot of nothing this morning. Actually, it sucks. I've got all these plants that should have went outside a month ago. And we've had, you know, going on fucking 3 weeks of rain. It's just sad that we have been so thoroughly dumbed down that people can't even see the forest for the trees anymore. You know how many people I've actually talked to people that they've never seen a sky that wasn't full of chemtrails. They've never seen a completely blue, clear sky. So even the idea of talking about a time when those chemtrails were not there, they can't comprehend it because they're not old enough to remember. You know, it's kind of like when you talk to people about payphones. They're like, what's a payphone? What's a phone booth? Yeah, it used to be a time where if you was outside in the winter and you were real cold, like say you were waiting on the bus or something, you'd go in that phone booth and shut the door just to stay warm to block the wind. A lot of people don't know nothing about that. They're not old enough. And a world in which stuff like that existed is foreign to them, so they don't comprehend it. We just take it. We no matter what they throw at us, we just take it and we do nothing. We say very little. We try not to make any waves. But then we carry it a step further. We do even worse than that. We instead build for them. You know what a craftsman is? A craftsman is a builder. There's lots of builders. Some people build walls. Some people build buildings. Some people build cars. Some people build societies. A craftsman is a special kind of builder because a craftsman uses a craft to build something. Look at the people in Hawaii that used to farm tomatoes, and now they can't farm tomatoes outside any longer in Hawaii. They have to put them indoors in greenhouses. I know one woman, they've got a 80-acre farm there, and what was it, over the course of 3 years, their tomato production went down by almost 40%. And this is an old, I mean, it had been in their family for like well over 100 years, 200 years or something. I don't know the exact number, but we're talking about people that's all they've ever known. So it's not like they all of a sudden don't know how to farm. Schools are being closed due to illness. None of the kids, middle school or younger in my area, have went to school in about 2 weeks. All the schools. And not just my county, but the 3, 4, 5 counties surrounding my county. All of the towns within those counties, the schools are closed. You know why? Illness. Everybody being sick. When I was a kid, I used to get a certificate every year for perfect attendance. Never missed school. Not even one day. Not even one day when I was a small child. We're talking like 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. Nowadays, that's impossible to acquire. Because the school's going to be closed due to illness at some point over the course of the year. What kind of, when you've got all these fucking brats taking all these flu vaccines, and you have a flu outbreak so bad that the entire school has to close due to illness. What the fuck is really going on? If you've vaccinated all these children against the flu, but then so many of them get the flu to the extent that you've got to close the school, what the fuck were you doing when you vaccinated them? What did you really vaccinate them with? And if your vaccine is that fucking ineffective, why are you still giving it to them? These are questions that are of serious concern, not just, or should not just be to myself, but to a lot of us. You see, a lot of you are going to be able to go to a store and buy some eggs today. You know what? I can't. Because unfortunately, I'm a disabled American veteran. And for faithfully, devoutly, proudly serving the United States military, I draw less than $12,000 net annual income. And I can't afford eggs. I can't afford organic fruit and vegetables. I can't even afford to pay the electric and the house payment. If it was not for me growing my food and for me taking care of my chickens and making sure they're happy, I couldn't eat. Yeah, granted, I love the quality of the food that I'm able to produce. That's a plus. But the predominant reason that I got into growing was because I had to be able to feed myself, and I couldn't afford to do so otherwise. Well, who would be fit to determine who got to improve the human race? See, if you want to improve yourself, you are well within your rights to do so. But to do anything to me without my consent is a violation of natural law. And when you violate natural law, you forfeit any right to claim how I discipline you when I find you guilty of violating my free will. See how that works, folks? There is a such thing as natural law. I'm sure that most of you, that's a concept that you may have heard of, you may not have heard of. You see, when you violate someone's natural law, as the aggressor, you don't get to determine how they respond. It all goes back to the action-reaction. What goes around comes around. Well, you can play lots of things. The game of duality can be played all kinds of different ways. Master race. There is no master race. There is no such thing as race. Race is a fucking myth. A race. Yeah, race. What the fuck is race? Yeah, there are. I would agree with that last statement, curious cannabis connoisseur. And when people reach that point where enough's enough, there can be no bitching or whining about what others do. The only good cop is a dead one. The only good federal employee is a dead one. And when people have reached a point where they are willing to do what it takes, the casualties will not get to say, well, I was just following orders. I was only doing my job. That will not be a justifiable excuse. It will not be acceptable. Because we're quickly approaching a point where there are going to be people that are going to be held accountable and found guilty for crimes against humanity, and they are going to be punished to the fullest extent of the law, the actual law. I'm not talking about the man-made Masonic bullshit where a bunch of fucking rich fucking white pedophiles sit in a room and write shit on paper, and then they get a bunch of idiots to believe that it's law, and all of a sudden it magically becomes law. No, I'm talking about actual law. No, I don't really think. When I hear the term race, I don't even really think in terms of color. I mean, that'd be like saying, if you look at a fucking, if you look at a shark and you look at a bluegill, they're both fish. A fish is a fish. Race. There's people. People. There's no race. There's a people. Some people look this way. Some people look that way. Who's competing? In a world of abundance, who would need to compete for anything? And to have a competition, you would have to have willful participants. You can't willfully decide what I willfully or do or not. You can willfully decide what choices you choose. Well, only simpletons consider what they have as being relative compared with what someone else has. I'm the richest guy I know. I am the richest guy that I know. I have $0. I live in a piece of shit trailer that's falling apart. I can go in my bedroom and I can stick my hand out the wall and stick it outside. I don't ride in vehicles. I don't drive. Yeah, I'm the richest guy I know. But there again, I don't define riches by measuring them with debt, or by measuring my stack of shit is taller or shorter than your stack of shit. Yeah, but see, we were all born leaders. Every one of us is a born leader. Sui generis. Unique. Undefinable. In a league of his, her own. And we can't use the successes or failures of others to gauge our perceived own successes or failures. And that's where we fuck up. Lions and sheep. And I'm about to start eating the baby sheep, so that maybe some of the other sheep get the fucking hint that I'm through fucking playing. Fuck. Truth be known, most of the sheep are such shitty fucking sheep anyway that they'd sell their own fucking... They'd sell out their own kind, sell out their own fucking... There's no loyalty no more. There is no honor. And that's what's really probably the heart of what's wrong with the world anymore. People don't even know what the term honor even fucking means. I should start doing videos on the etymology of words. No. Oh, I just used a big word. I better cut that shit out. I'll lose a whole bunch of YouTube subscribers. I'm sorry. That was probably condescending and I shouldn't have said it. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not sorry. People need to get their fucking head out of their ass. I'm sick of seeing Israeli families paid $23,000 a year of motherfucking money that I sweat and bled for. And people like me get paid $12,000 a year and told shut the fuck up. I'm sick of seeing fucking pedophiles like Donald Trump up on a podium bitching about fucking walls that we done paid for 3 fucking times so that he can give Israeli Mossad fucking defense contractors such as Elbit Systems Incorporated piles of fucking money that they don't deserve, that they have not earned, that they are not entitled to. I'm sick of seeing a fucking so-called American government ran by a Colombian district which consists of 40% Israeli fucking citizens. That's the real threat to security right there. We have a fucking foreign entity usurping the power from the American people. And the American people are too motherfucking retarded to even know what their ass from a fucking hole in the ground. And I'm really getting sick and fucking tired of having to contend with their idiocy. It makes it harder on everybody. Let's nuke their fucking ass. Well, excuse me, can't say that because technically I don't perceive that nukes exist, but something should happen. Something should really fucking occur to fucking smack, 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 pull your head out of your ass. All the useless eaters are making my life beyond difficult. And they're getting to the point where they're posing more detriment than they are benefit. And it's about time they just go away. They've had ample opportunity to do the right thing. They have had ample opportunity to learn to show true compassion. To learn what love means. To learn how to treat each other. To learn how to interact in order to be able to exist and thrive within their environment. Not only have they proven that they cannot exist within their environment, they have proven they are incapable of evolving to the point at which they could exist within their environment. They have been shown the truth, they have been told the truth, and they still just fuck up, fuck up, fuck up, fuck up, like a fucking plague on this planet, on this plan ET. tired of them? How long do we just put up with people? There's a better word for it. Cacistocracy. How long do we contend with a cacistocracy? A cacistocracy is when you take the bottom feeders, the fucking parasites, the scum of the fucking earth, and you put them in charge of everybody and everything. I have to go back to chat. We all have the potential to be a leader. It doesn't mean everybody's going to do it. Some just want to be controlled. Most want to be controlled because they're fucking pathetic. Get rid of them. Look here. Let's make this real simple. If there were just myself and Donald Trump in a room, it would make my life real easy. Real easy. Nature would take over. Things would work out. Only the strong survive. Calling the herd would be a lot easier. But you got all of this just fucking these just passerbys, these fucking weeds in the wind, and they're shitting up the joint. It gets tiresome. It gets tedious. And what they erroneously perceive to be factual is not relevant. Everything's perception. Everything. And yet, you did lose me in the mud. My chickens have been awake all night, Perth Observer. Thank you for being here in chat. And then I'm stuck because I am duty bound and honor bound to go through this shit until I get to leave this shit. And it sucks. It fucking sucks. And a lot of the dead weight that I have to see and I have to contend with gets rough on me. It fucking just nasty. I live in a town where there might be, if I could, I don't even know if there's any of them I would save, really, if I could. I mean, it's that bad, and that's one town. I would venture to guess that a majority of the world I would feel the same way about. That is, I can partially concur with that, not your last comment, but your comment before that, Curious Cannabis Connoisseur. I do enjoy my life. I wanted to be able to get some of these plants off of my bed so that I could lay down and go to sleep. I can't get the plants off my bed because I'm on day 16 of rain. I was hoping that I would be able to take one of the stalls at the end of the chicken coop and start getting it cleaned up, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my brooding boxes in that stall. I can't do that because it's got 2 foot of fucking water in the bottom of it. So the point I'm making, I do enjoy my life. This isn't the adversity And the complications that I'm contending with are not of my making. They're not of my choosing. So it only stands logically. One could only then deduce that I would take serious issue with the perpetrators. Yeah, they do all kinds of experiments. I had the little shock therapy shits. Lots of Thorazines. Months of my life I couldn't remember. Phone and padded cells for reasons that are beyond me. Then I went into service and it got real fun. Yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was at Fort Sill, Oklahoma in 1995. The Air Force bombed some Marines intentionally. I don't know if any of you all remember that. Oh, yeah, I know what they wrote in papers. I don't even know if they even fucking put it on the fucking news when it happened. I know what we were told, and I know what I seen, and what I seen, and what I was told I seen didn't match the fuck up. I know what the Shriners did to my sister. I know what the fucking... I having to watch that shit, go through that shit. The effects, the after effects. I know what the priest at the Roman Catholic Church did to me. Oh, but I went to private school. I should consider myself fortunate. I had a top-level education. I went to a private school. I wasn't like a lot of you idiots. I got to go to a private school. I didn't ever have to attend a public school. Yeah, I paid for those fucking so-called privileges. Still paying for them, as a matter of fact. And then there's some of you that just get to go to sleep at night and wake up and pretend like it's a whole new day and you don't even remember shit. I said, well, what'd you do last night? Nothing, man. I went to bed. I went to sleep. I slept 9 hours last night. Well, I'm going to ask you again. Where'd you go last night? What'd you do? Man, didn't you hear me? I was asleep. I laid in the bed with my eyes closed for 9 hours. I remembered not to shit the bed. I remembered not to piss the bed. But that's the only thing I remember. I didn't piss the bed. It's like, well, fuck, what's that like? That must be great when you can say that you laid in a bed for 8 or 9 hours and you don't remember nothing. Man, where do I get what list do I got to get put on so that I get that privilege? How do I earn the right to be able to lay in a bed for 7, 8 hours and not remember shit? No. I gotta see shit and do shit and have shit done to me and have shit fucking in my eyes and in my ears and in my fucking head and in the walls and in the vents and in the air and in the trees. And then I get to become awake and sit here in this shit. Awake. What's awake? We all know what awake is. What is awake? It's a celebration of the dead. That's where you're at right now. The land of the dead. No, excuse me. The land of the living, ruled by the dead. And I guess when I gave up ignorance, the bliss just naturally gets taken from me as a result. And I guess I'm just supposed to be cursed, putting up with the lowest forms of life dominating everything around me. I don't let nothing deter me either, but I've just done all of this for so long. And no matter how far away from society I venture, their shit follows me. And I smell it. People fucking stink. And it gets to the point that I'm really tired of having to live in the same world they live in. What did I do? What the fuck did I do? I've asked. I've tried to consult Akashic Records. I've tried just about everything I can do to figure out what kind of debt exactly am I repaying? What kind of soul contract could I have obligated myself with that bound me here? Why can't I leave? I've been in kidney failure for like 6 fucking years. I've been shot 4 times. I've been run over. I fell 2 stories and landed on a dump truck, cutting myself in half. And no matter what the fuck happens to me, I'm still here. And I'm tired of being here. Curious cannabis connoisseur. Yeah, coal ash. We've had a lot of that problems with that in this geographic locale. Coal ash. Yeah, fossil fuels. There's another myth for us to think about. Fossil fuel. Oh, that's a funny one. Fossil fuel. What a joke. Yeah, I know. I love all you all too. I really sincerely do. I wish things were different and that the world was a better place. And I wish that sometimes the actions that some of us take did not have to feel like they were in vain. And I hate it that I'm not of a strong enough intellect to realize and truly know that the actions are not in vain, even when they are perceived as being in vain. I am making a legitimate, positive difference in my world. Even though I'm not able to see that difference, even though I'm not receiving reward or whatever as a result of that difference. Yet, sometimes the struggle that one goes through whenever they make positive change does get cumbersome, because when you make a positive step forward in one area, you also make that simultaneously results in a step backwards in another area. If that somewhat makes any sense. Another way to put it would be, when you make $1, someone else loses $1. That's not a... I probably should have come up with a better analogy. And yeah, I'm still here, and I do still stand, and I'm just venting. I'm not going to go off on some fucking wild, crazed tangent and fucking, it's just like Charles Manson said. I've never killed anybody. And when I start killing people, you'll know it. Because I'll kill every one of you. That was Charles Manson said that. I didn't say that. Charles Manson said that. And I've only repeated what I had heard Charles Manson said for entertainment purposes only. I am in no way, shape, or form an advocate, friend, supporter, or allianced in any way with the character formerly known as Charles Manson. That's my official disclaimer. All rights reserved. Copyright pending. Yeah, I have to vent, Perth. Did you see I was streaming at some point last night and someone did not like the particular content, and then the first thing they tried to do was politely compel me to change, which that was an insult. Look here. They don't give a fuck if you subscribe to me, if you do not subscribe to me, if you support me, if you do not support me. I'm doing me the best way I know to do me. And I hope that me doing me the best way I know to do me can somehow indirectly facilitate an easier method for you doing you. That being said, I am not trying to cater to the whims of others, as I would expect them not to try and cater to my whims. Be who the fuck you are, whatever it is you are. Be who you are. Don't budge for nobody. But so the first time I was like, look, okay, I'm sorry that you don't like the content, but I'll change it in a minute. So I put someone completely different on. Apparently, they did not like that person either. So then they just had to, fuck it, just had to leave. Don't you insult Terrence McKenna. Do not insult Terrence McKenna. That is one of my the most inspirational thinkers of my time. This time. They insulted Terrence McKenna. Fuck. He's probably up there laughing his ass off wherever he's at. So all we can do is yeah. I will live and die according to my principles. My principles are not agreeable with most. You know what? I don't give a fuck. Because I will never be held accountable to their principles. I'll be held accountable to mine. And if I'm going to be held accountable for something, you best believe it's something that I chose to do. I chose not to do. If I'm going to be held responsible, it's going to be for my own decision. It's not going to be for the decisions of others. Carl Sagan, there's a lot of ways in which I read Carl Sagan's books. I like Carl Sagan. We would probably disagree on the idea of space travel because in the conventional sense, I don't believe it will ever be possible. In the conventional sense, I do not perceive that space travel will ever be possible. It's that whole Van Allen radiation belt thing that really gets to me. I can't go to the hospital and get an x-ray without putting a fucking 20-pound lead fucking vest over my nutsack. But I can somehow jump in a tinfoil covered aluminum fucking box and fly to the moon and hang out? Really? I'm not buying that shit for one fucking minute. None of us are alone. There's a lot of, and we all have some fucked up stories to tell. It's just hard to find a safe avenue, a safe venue where them stories are even permissible. And then you always have to wonder, what can you tell and who can you tell? That's something I juggle with daily. It's like everything comes at a cost. Everything. Nothing's free. Nothing. I usually know though when I'm approaching something I should shut the fuck up, because I'll get a text message from the 60s. True story. Yeah, you know you're fucking up. You know you're pissing somebody off when all of a sudden you get a text message from 1969 and the only thing the message says is 33. They want you to know that they know that you know they know. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, fuck this shit. I'm going to turn this here shit off. I'm going to watch some porn. Fuck it. I'm going to smoke me a joint and watch me a porno. How about that? Yeah, I can do that. And all of a sudden you'll get it. You figure, well, I better check my email before I go watch that porno movie. I better check my email. And you got an email and it's somebody, yeah, we've been watching you for a long time. I'm Moonbear33, by the way. And then you go to check their fucking email, and that motherfucker is done. It's behind so many fucking firewalls, VPNs, all kinds of shit that you'll never figure out who the fuck they are. And then when you finally track them down, and you track down the fact that it's a created existence, it isn't even a real existence, you get all pissed off and shit. You're like, well, man, well, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go on a live stream, and I'm gonna bitch about that shit. And then all of a sudden, your stream gets terminated. Your internet shuts the fuck off, and you don't have internet for 3 days. You live out in the hills, and you ain't got no way to make no phone calls or nothing, because your internet, your phone runs through your internet and shit. And all of a sudden, 3 days later, I mean, you're fucking, you said, you know what? I don't need the internet. I got my guns, I got my food. I'm gonna go out in the woods. I'm gonna hang out in the woods for a while. And you go to walk out the door, and all of a sudden you notice your internet comes back on. First thing that pops in your mind is, well, fuck, now that my internet's back, I'm gonna call Comcast Xfinity and figure out what the fuck's wrong with my internet. And you call that internet company and they tell you, Mr. True Patriot, sir, we show that you've had no problems out of your internet. There's not been any outages. There's been nothing happen. Your internet's been fine. It's a weird world we live in. Most people see this stuff and they don't see it. They see it, but they don't see it. And then some of us, we really see it. And it's enough that you know that there's a constant battle, right? There's this constant struggle. And you're always plagued with this thought. In my heart, I perceive that I'm on the right side. That I really am on the side of the righteous. But am I really? You know, and it tears at me because I don't really know. I perceive to know, but you best not try to seek out any kind of vindication, because then that just invites further complication, like I previously spoke about. And when you get into a situation in your mind and you're seeking, things pick up on that. It's like fucking putting a strobe light on your fucking top of your head. Oh, oh, oh! We got a live one here. He's looking for something. He's looking for something. We better give him something to look at. You sit down on the couch and you put your boots in front of you. You're gonna go out in the yard and you're gonna play in the fucking yard with your plants. You put the right boot on, and all of a sudden the left boot has disappeared. It isn't even there. The motherfucker is gone. You're walking around the house, you're like, what the fuck? Where the fuck is my boot at? Man, that's just fucking crazy. So you get you another pair of shoes. You figure you're not going to get all stressed. You got shit to do. You go grab you another pair of shoes. You get out in the yard. You get to fucking around. Finally, you hear the mailman pull up. Yep, woohoo! Mailman got here. I might have some cannabis beans in the mailbox. Oh yeah, I'm running to that mailbox. Here I go. You get down to the mailbox, and out there beside the road, your other boot's sitting there. What do? You can't tell people. You tell people, they just presume you're crazy. And it bothers you, and then people will say, well, man, dude, you got a lot on your mind. You seem really stressed out. You seem really tense. You want to talk about it? No, I don't want to talk about it. You got to talk about it. You just have to let it all out. You have to vent. It's not good to keep that stuff bottled up. And then you tell them something and they like you, and then next thing you know, you're locked up for it. Throw you in a padded cell and tell you you're crazy. You're crazy. But if you let us give you this here shot, and you sign your straw man's name on this here paper saying that if something gets fucked up as a result of us giving you this shot, you can't and you won't try to sue nobody, we'll let you out of this here hospital. Well, what's in the shot? Well, you're not allowed to ask that. We'll come back in 6 months and we'll talk about it again. Eventually, you'll take that shot. Can't talk about it though. Fucking and then you're living in a world that you're all the fuck alone and don't nobody give a fuck. And you're scared to interact with others because you know that every time you interact with someone, it goes bad for you. It's rough, man. I remember I was 6 years old. I lived in North Charleston, South Carolina. 6 years old, walking around the street. Yeah. It never goes well. Anytime some people have an interaction with humans, it goes bad. And we all have a sad story, but it'd be nice. It would really, really, really be refreshing if, for once, in this place, whatever this place is, that I could sit down with someone that's went through it and talk about it. You know, like somebody else, like whatever the fuck it is I am and whatever the fuck it is that I've went through and wherever the fuck it is that I'm at. Because the loneliness is what really, really, really eats at me. I mean, I'm utterly, with the exception of the plants and the animals, I'm alone. I don't have any of my own species. Anywhere. No family. No physical friends. No physical family. No physical loved ones. Yeah, I've got cyber associations. I've got lots of plants. I got lots of animals, but I don't have any humans. And it sucks. And then the ones that might like try to pop up or like interject themselves into my world. Sometimes there's some where you think that I don't know, for whatever reason, you may feel like you can forge a bond with them. And in my instances, something always happens to them. I met a gay boy and his boyfriend, which is weird because I'm about as redneck as they come. But I'm not judgmental. I don't judge anybody. We're just going to smoke some good cannabis, drink some beer. Y'all keep that gay shit to yourself, and we can all be buddies. And they were always wanting to talk and shit and talk. And I'm like, look, man, I don't really feel comfortable talking to y'all, man. They'd probably end up getting you in trouble. I really probably shouldn't say a word to you. Well, finally the one day I broke down and I told him some shit. And the one boy, he's all like, that's just unjust. I can't have it. I gotta do something about it. It's keeping me up at night. It's fucking with me. And I was like, man, you just need to keep your mouth shut and keep your head in the sand. No, the world just can't be that way. It just can't. Next thing you know, he allegedly went into the back door of a church that did not have a back door and said that he was both the God and the devil at the same time, and he was going to rid the world of the evils of that church. And they had him on like 12 or 13 counts of especially aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and they had him like $180,000 bond, and he was facing all these years in the penitentiary. And then magically, a month later, nothing. Disappeared. No jail. No charges. No nothing. But the sad part was, in spite of the whatever happened, I lost a perceived friend. I mean, they were young and kind of goofy, and they were gay, and that. But hey, you know, shit, man. It's still kind of cool when somebody fucking hang out. When you hang out, they just disappeared, and that's usually in my world what ends up happening. For whatever reason, it's almost as if I was destined since the time I was born this time to be alone. And when I say alone, I mean I can't even go to a fucking convenience store. Obviously, for it to be to the extent that it is, there has to be a strategic method to the madness, if you will. I mean, there's just otherwise it just wouldn't make any sense. I mean, it's like even when I fell off the roof and landed on the dump truck, I was 1/8 of an inch away from severing my femoral artery. I would have bled out. I would have been dead in seconds. Now, here's what's so odd about that. You know what the side of a dump truck? Does anybody know how wide the side of a dump truck is? Okay, what are we thinking now? 3 inches? Give or take? Now, how wide's your crotch? And I fell 2 stories. You see that? That is perfection. That fall was 100% perfect. It's always been the isolation, Perth. Ever since I can first remember. Ever since I first remember. My entire life. The entirety of this particular existence has been 100% alone. Just gets... That's what initially put me on a path towards seeking out answers, seeking to know, seeking knowledge, because I want to know. Fuck faith. I don't give a fuck about faith. I don't give a fuck about belief constructs. I don't give a fuck about society. I want knowledge. I want to know. You either know something or you don't know something. I want to know things. There are things that I know. There are things that I don't know. And the bulk of what I don't know is the reason why. It doesn't make logical sense to the mind that I have today and the mind that I've had. Maybe it will make sense at a point, but that point has not been reached yet. Thus, I keep looking for why. What the fuck? I can eat fucking 14 grams of pan-cyan mushrooms. It taught me a lot. It didn't get me there. I could shoot up a fucking gram of fucking cocaine. Fucking pure fucking Peruvian fucking flake. It didn't get me nowhere. Could almost die. It didn't get me nowhere. Still trying to find that answer. That piece of knowledge that will in some way, form, or fashion take me from an unknown to a known position. Because if I don't have knowledge, then what do I have? A quest. And the quest is what's fucking boring. It's like snipe hunting. I feel like I've been snipe hunting for 50 fucking years. And still ain't caught one of them bastards. I don't have fear. I mean, I lost that. I was able to shed that a long time ago. You know, so I've got that going for me. X is tense. I like that word. Oh, you said existence. Excuse me. I just, I read into it wrong. Existence. X is tense. X is tense. X being unknown. Other people will probably try to rationalize the X as having other meanings, which it does have other meanings, but in this particular instance I was specifically referring to existence. They don't like me. You're right, Perth. They do not like me. They do not. They definitely don't like me. The powers that be, the powers that think they are, don't like me. Whether it's not, they're going to have to get pretty fucking creative if they want to do something they haven't done. Let's see. Prison? Oh, we've been there, done that. Jail? We've been there, done that. Laid up in a hospital bed for many, many months on end? Yeah, we've been there, done that. Shock treatment? Been there, done that. Yeah, Madison, what was that? Madison State Hospital. I was one of the last patients that they had inpatient. Madison, Indiana. Y'all should Google that place. It was a freaky motherfucker. Been there, done that. So they can, so see, that's where I'm at now. They can only give me the fucking knowledge or get rid of me. That is their only two options. And they won't get rid of me because they don't want to allow me to be a martyr. But yet they don't want to give me any knowledge either. So I'm stuck. I'm like fucking in limbo. And that's what fucking, I guess that's the point. I was going to say that's what aggravates me. Is that I'm in this limbo state. And I think they know it. And they're like, oh, man, we ain't worried about that motherfucker. Let that crazy motherfucker, let him sit over there and stew for another 50, 100 years. I got all happy when they told me my liver and kidney was fucked up. I was like, woohoo! Liver and kidney fucked up? What? You give me 3 years to live? Really? Cool. Hell yeah. Fucking 10 years later, 15 years later. Damn, man, what the fuck you mean I'm a medical miracle? Y'all motherfuckers screwed me over again. Shit. Fuck. And they're sitting back laughing. Here I sit. Still fucking not even pissed anymore. I'm just aggravated, annoyed. It's tedious. The mind is a fucked up place. And most people never explore. That's the one place they never look. That's the one rock they never flip over. It's like, you worried about going to Africa and adopting a baby? You're worried about climbing Mount fucking Everest? Why would you go to all these places? Look in your own fucking mind first. You want to do some exploring? Go play in the mind. Drink you some ayahuasca. Play in the mind. Take you 3 or 4 good hits of some good DMT. Play in the mind. When you get back from them vacations, if you still feel the need to go climb Mount Everest, go right ahead. Yep, you have to know thyself, because you can't know anything else until you know thyself. Until you know you can't know any of this other shit. You gotta know you first. And that's something I've always tried to stress to people. You gotta know yourself. Well, my mama said that I'm like my daddy, and she said that my name was so-and-so, and that this is who I am. Well, I'm not trying to be mean, but your mama don't know her ass from a hole in the ground either. She should probably go get to know herself. Then she'll be a better judge of character, and might be able to tell you something about yourself. But till she knows herself, she ain't gonna be able to tell you a fucking thing about yourself. Agreed, Curious. And I don't like the low-pitched hum that I hear all the fucking time. And sometimes I'll get mad and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. You're not annoying me. Not today. Not right now. Fuck you. I can't hear it. I'm not listening. And then it magically goes away. No, it's not magically goes away. It's not having the desired effect. So it's just not there. I hear it all the time. Like right now, I can hear, and it's there even when, like right now, it's real loud. The rain is real loud. So I have to work to separate audible frequencies to distinguish between them. But I'm like, that little hum, it's right there. And if I try to clear the mind, it'll get louder in an effort to deter me from being able to clear the mind. Stivers Homestead. Cheers, friend. Hope you are at least possibly dry. We're soaking wet and covered in rain here in East Tennessee. But we're feeling real fortunate because that there weather guy told us that if we're lucky, the day after tomorrow, no, the day after tomorrow, I don't know, the day after tomorrow or the day after that, we might get a break for a few hours from the rain. Actually, technically speaking, they said that we're going to get a break Tuesday. Tuesday, we're supposed to get a break, and then it's supposed to be right back to rain. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, blah, 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 whatever next week. It's been real heavy since about 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The newspaper carrier had to go another direction when he left because the road down the other direction was flooded and whatnot. I've got probably, like by where I've got an apple tree and whatnot, I've probably got fucking 2 or 3 feet of water in the yard. And that's weird because I live on the side of a mountain. You know, water runs downhill. Earthbound Alchemy. There's a lot of places here that are pretty good to look at. We've got what they call Lookout Rock. Allegedly, you can see 4 states. I've not measured it. Oh, there's Tennessee, and then there's that state. They say you can see 4 states. Now is the time I should be drinking coffee. I haven't even made a pot this morning. I've been disgusted. Well, they've got my property. There's a logging road, and the logging road carries a substantial amount of water. And what happens is, although I am on the side of a mountain, the road is cut out. So when all the water coming down the mountain hits the road, it slows it down enough to where it's still, you know. You're from East Tennessee, Earthbound Alchemy. What part, if you don't mind me asking? I'm somewhat near Oak Ridge National Laboratory. But then again, it could be argued that I'm somewhat nearer University of Tennessee. I've got 8 people in chat at 9:22 a.m. in the morning. That is just fucking amazing. Oh wait, no, it's not amazing. I forgot. It's a weekend. It's the one. Weekend days. Everybody in their weekend days. They're not punching no time clocks today, so they're off work. What do you think about that, Perth Observer? Nobody's punching. Most people are not punching their time clocks today. See, people do nothing sometimes. Tri-Cities. You live in the Tri-Cities. That's not far or close. I'm pretty easy to find. I've never hid anything. I've never hid anything. I don't hide nothing. I am 100% transparent. I don't need anonymity because I'm not doing anything that I don't feel comfortable with in my life. Well, this is the one day that they do closer to nothing than they do other days. You've got to make sure that you schedule the do nothing day for no, not a Saturday, because a lot of time it's got to be scheduled for Sundays. You've got to. No, wait, no, it'd be hard for. Well, Sunday would probably be the best bet. I don't shop. I don't really ever like do that. I don't go to stores. I don't leave the house. Well, I mean, I leave the house like, once every, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 months. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even leave that often. I don't like going places. I mean, I live in the middle of the woods on the side of a mountain. Where could I go that would be more beautiful? And what would I see when I got there? I've got all the food I need. I've got plenty of ammo. I just can't really see a reason to like go places. Now, I did do the whole traveling man thing. I was a traveling man for quite a while. I went places and did things. Left-hand path was not for me. I decided to get back to my roots, my actual genuine roots. And just didn't feel the need to seek externally for what is and always will be internal. What can a store afford me that I need? What can money afford me that I need? I like the barter system. And if I must purchase things, I would much rather purchase them over the internet and have them dropped off at the end of the driveway. I don't even want you coming up my house to bring me a package. You put it at the end of the fucking driveway. Oh yeah, I'll know when you get there. I'll go down to the end of the driveway and I'll pick up my package. It's just better for everybody that way. I don't need somebody forcing me to do something to them and then bitching because I did something to them. I'll stay away from them. They stay away from me. We've got a good little arrangement worked out. I stay out of society. Society stays the fuck out of me. It works half-ass, but it's thus far the best that I'm going to get, while having to be kept as a political prisoner. Oh, wait, but their definition would be different. They would say, no, you're not a political prisoner. You're a political dissident. And as a result of being a political dissident, it makes you a threat to national security. Thus, we need to keep you out of sight, out of mind for everybody's safety. Or something like that. Yeah, If I've got to go shopping, I'd rather go online and order it from China. Oh, is that is that un-American? Am I not supposed to say that? Is that anti-patriotic? Well, I'm not going to give some self-righteous condescending of fucking Americans $10 for something that he got from China for $4 and marked it up to $10 and sells it to me. I'd much rather cut that motherfucker out, cut the middleman out, go straight to the source and get it for pennies on the dollar. If I was inclined to make a purchase that I couldn't barter for. The barter system's the way it should be. You know, a Jew cannot engage in usury through the purpose of commerce with another Jew. But they can use usury on you. Oh yeah. A lot of people don't even know what usury even is. If you pay $1 for something, you are not allowed to sell it to me for $2. That's usury. That's you trying to make an unjust profit. Profit isn't just. You're not entitled to fucking profit. None of us are. But usury is that deals with a lot of stuff that isn't taught nowadays. I guess I'm old fashioned or old school, as the youngsters call it. Their whole capitalism shit's a fucking failed attempt like all their others. Socialism didn't work. Capitalism didn't work. Aristocracy didn't work. The Pharaohic period didn't work. That's why they have to keep changing and changing and changing and changing, because none of their fucking social constructs are worth a shit. They all end up like this one. You give it enough time and people realize they're getting fucked in the ass, and then they quit going along with the program. When people quit going along with the program, the fucking whole house of cards falls. It happens over and over and over again, and then they come up with some new. They reinvent the wheel over and over. I'm gonna make a better wheel this time. I'm gonna reinvent it again. I'm gonna make it better. No, you're not. That's the same tired ass shit you've tried all the other times. You can repackage the wheel, no matter how many times. It's not going to get better. You're not going to fucking repackage it and make it work out. As long as you keep trying to do what is unjust, justice will always be just us. Justice will not work when you keep trying to repackage it in the way you're doing. There's a lot of stuff about this world that people just don't know, and they really need to fucking utilize the opportunities placed in front of them. There's been people that have tried to tell you all the truth forever. Forever. It's not something to run from. It would be much better to do it like you do the Band-Aid. Pull that motherfucker off real quick. It's easier. It's easier. Pull it off. Let it sting. You'll be better for it. You can beat around the bush, and you can dodge the truth and circumvent the truth, and back of the bus, brush it under the rug, sidestep, dance around all you want to. You end up the same way you're ending up. You keep given opportunities before you're wiped out. Do what it takes to avoid getting wiped out or get wiped out. Until such time as humanity learns what it means to be humane, humanity gets wiped out. How many empires have to rise and fall before people pull their head out of their ass? Whether it's the Tartaria, or whether it's the Tartarians, or the Romans, or Babylon. I mean, how many of these different cultures have to get to the point where we are at today and get wiped out before they realize that you just can't beat people into submission and think that it's going to be tolerable? Yeah, they do like it. They don't even ask for lube anymore. Now you talk about butt fucking somebody and they just pull the pants down, bend over. They've already got their head in the sand and everything. They're not even reaching around for lube or nothing. They're just like, here, I'm ready to take it. I know what you're going to do. And I've prepared. I didn't prepare myself to resist. But I did prepare myself in the event that you didn't have any lube and this was going to hurt. So just go ahead and do what you're going to do to me. It's such a defeatist mentality. People have so much power and they don't give themselves credit for none of it. Well, I can't have that plant. The government told me it was bad, and they said I couldn't have it. Well, what if I told you that if you made a cup of tea out of that leaf, it would make you 3 times smarter? Well, I got to thinking, and them there government folks, they told me that might not be a good idea, and that if I did it, I could potentially get in trouble, so I reckon I don't need to be no smarter. Sad. Fight or flight. And they always run, don't they? They just, it's always that fight or flight mentality, and the average person just flight. The fear, whether it's ego driven, whether it's lack of knowledge, whether it's lack of gumption, ambition, drive, I don't know. But they just, it's like the idea of fighting as opposed to laying down never occurs to them. Things won't get better. Things won't change. Things will continue on their path until people get to the point where they are willing to do what it takes. And as long as they're not willing to do what it takes, they can't really bitch at the people that are. But on that note, folks, I think I'm going to end this live stream. I do need to make myself some coffee. And apparently, I do need to get all bundled up in ponchos and inflatable rafts and rubber bootses and rubber fucking helmets and I got to grab oars and yeah, and I'm gonna have to jump in a fucking inflatable raft and float over to the chicken coop and collect my eggs, and then I'll probably have to water some of my illegal plants, and then I'm probably going to watch some copyright illegally copyright infringed material, and break about 50 or 60 other state and federal laws. And after I do all that, then I'm probably going to lay back and listening to a humming in my ears and some ringing and look at some of the most evil things the universe has to offer me this day, and then I might be back after a while. But until then, folks, much love, and thank you for bearing with my bullshit and my other than cheerful, bubbly attitude. Thank you very much. Perth, Curious Cannabis Connoisseur, thank you for being here. Excellent as always. Anthropod 4, thank you very much. Sincerely. Earthbound Alchemy, it was good seeing you here as well, friend. Stivers Holmes said, who else did come in chat earlier? I've seen some other people. I just want to make sure that I've acknowledged everyone. Wow, there was a lot of people chatting. That's cool. Awesome. But anyway, everyone take it easy. On behalf of Volunteer Agriculture, True Living Organic Farms. Until next time, this is CC2 Arms. If you don't know, fucking, I guess just use Google. CC2 Arms, also known as True Patriot. And until next time, folks, love each other, love yourself, and try to be fucking productive. Later.